Still not sure when exactly I want to bring like a full season back and dedicate myself to doing one of these each day. I'm going pretty ham on some other stuff at the moment, but I wanted to show you guys another game of the day here. There's nothing special build-wise about this video, or really that out of the ordinary. It's a fresh air game I played while getting my dailies. You'll actually notice I've already finished my daily. I was doing a second one though. Yeah, you haven't seen fresh air for a while. I'm only really showing this because it was some particularly solid gameplay, I think, and you know, a reasonable carry. So let's just see how it goes. I know you guys quite often enjoy the fresh air games, so let's do it. Actually, I do tell a lie. There is a slight thing about the builds. I'm not on Scholar anymore, and I've changed the sigils. I'm trying the Strength variant again with Courage Battle, so just ramp as much might as possible for the extra power. That's kind of the idea, and yeah, that means I've dropped Cleansing, and I really like Cleansing. You'll actually find I struggle a bit with that as the game goes forward. So yeah, we're on Legacy, very snowbally map, but thankfully this is going to be a very blow-for-blow kind of game. And in some ways, this is like the dream, right? It's a game that goes right up to the end, but you made no mistakes and you feel like you did a lot of good stuff, right? That's what you hope for every time you queue in, or at least for me, that's what I hope for. I don't care so much about winning and being handed free wins. I care more about difficult games that I win at the end anyway, right? So yeah, we'll see how we go. There's no stealth, there's no might, none of that. You notice I exploded my fire aura early though, so we've got a little bit of might here. At least I think I did. And so we're looking for our target. I open on the Reaper, often a very good target to begin with because, you know, they don't have any life force and they obviously represent a pretty big threat. But unfortunately, my guy goes down very quickly. So this is a core guard that I've got. And he just got absolutely nuked. So immediately I'm quite scared of this mid-fight. You'll notice that I've got my Hollow here who's being sort of on the fringes, but there's a hell of a lot of clones and stuff around, so we're going to be cautious. The Reapers, so this was really nice timing with the Reaper here. He would have gained a packet of life force, sustaining his shroud, if this body went down like a couple of seconds earlier. But because he didn't, he got kicked out, and because he's been kicked out, he can't now get any value out of it. So I'm thinking that there's a kill potential here. So I'm pushing hard for that. You'll notice he's on a weird signet as well. That's actually a move speed signet. I don't really know the logic or the reasoning there. Maybe there's something. But yeah, so anyway, we're just trying to pressure him. But now we've been, you know, jumped by this Hollow. So I want to point out what's actually some good gameplay here with this Hollow. In that, you have to understand, you guys might not sort of have a baseline for this, but this is extremely threatening. He is very, very, very dangerous. He can stun lock me. I do still have, you know, Twist of Fate. I've got my double stun break or whatever, but it's a very, very, very scary moment, right? And really what I got to do is kite. There could be an even bigger wave of people coming at me, considering my dead core guard over there and whatnot. So basically, the Hollow's been pressured away. I've been pressured away. We're kiting in different directions. But so what's actually kind of nice here is dodging the net turret. Getting the Swirling Winds here stops his Photon Blitz. I chance a knockdown on him, and we notice that we land it. So instead of just fleeing straight through the base, because he didn't have the stab, essentially, is the main concern there. I chain the knockdown into the stun, and I stay here instead of actually going through the door. And you'll notice what I've done is I've popped my reflex. So he just left Photon Forge, all right? Which means that now all he's really got is projectile stuff. He's going to have like a blunderbuss or whatever. But so chaining one CC into the other, getting him out of Forge, and now I'm hiding in Reflects. Remembering and juggling all those things at once, I actually know what was very threatening, I'm now actually very safe. So he overcharged shots and it doesn't turn into anything. You notice I haven't attunement swapped for a long time because I know now I can turn into an Obsidian Flesh and keep pressuring. He used his wall here, but that only blocks while he's facing us and he's running away. So now I can even push really hard for the Plasma Beam. But of course now I have to leave. So the one thing I didn't quite realize was, obviously I saw he had assistance, and so I was scared. That's why you saw I preemptively... I should have just regular dodged, to be honest, there, instead of using this cooldown, probably. But, you know, I ran away and dodged. The reason I did that was because I saw he had incoming. I was thinking about the photon wall and stuff. Pausing here, it's obvious, it's easy to unpack it all. But I didn't know if this was a DPS player coming to support him. It was actually a support player, so there was no real risk. The Hollow's decision to keep kiting out, even though he has support, is perhaps questionable. Because there's no way I'll kill him anymore. Look at all the boons and the healing and stuff. He could have forced me right through, but instead they've ran away, which lets me get back out on the map. So, on the other hand, though, they might want to get back to mid to stop themselves being decapped. It's really stupid fighting right by the gate anyway. So anyway, I come out. I know that there's a support there. There's no need to do anything. I noticed that my friend here has been in this 1v1, and he's doing well in it. I take a very simple plus, and I move on. So he's a Condi Thief build. I think there's going to be one particularly clunky rotation from yours truly today, and it's when I rotate towards him that I don't have to, because he's actually safely won his 1v1. So looking towards mid, it's obviously lost, and there's nothing I can do. But the Hollow, again, some pretty questionable positioning, because what he's done is he walked out alone away from his support and come towards me. So I swirl to prevent most damage. He uses the 5, which comes really far out. You notice I was standing really far away from the Hollow there, and he still managed to bait a dodge. And I had to dodge, right? I proposed nerfs to that skill in the past. I guess I won't distract myself too much. Anyway, so yeah, a lot of what you're actually watching that was smart here is just the positioning. So there we get just in range again to get the kill. I noticed that the support comes in, so this is going to be a fire greatsword here. We cleave through the body, and we chunk the Reaper very hard as well. So we've just got 2 kills under the nose of that support there now. So we can cleave that down and then rush towards actually finishing him off. Here I got a bit confused with my camera because I didn't know where he went. But here we're taking a Mobe, GS3, double air. And as he's trying to leave, I notice he's mantering, so I can interrupt him with the air 5. And now we can just grind him down. The thing I would most be concerned of in a scenario like that is actually retail damage, softening me up for some kind of respawn. But he didn't even have retail on him. We'd managed to get through everything. So possibly his death there is a result of some inefficient mantra stuff. So there we saw a Hollow stealthed in front of us, and I immediately turn around and I'm bailing, right? So this is one of those interesting moments where my friend on the node might start looking at me and start thinking, oh, what's he doing? He's being really weird. You got to understand, people are very, very judgmental very quickly in PvP. And so one bit of advice I'd have to you guys is to just be confident in what you're doing and ignore the, most of the times unnecessary criticism you get from randoms. This looks like some really dodgy positioning and weird stuff from me, and now he's possibly starting to think, oh, what's happening? But it is 100% the immaculate play here, because there's the stealth Hollow, and if we wait for a second, you'll see he appears right here, right next to the node. And so this is really good. Once again, I'm pretty safe because I do have an ally near me. Here we get a really nice burst. I demonstrated this on a Colosseum game before, where you can pretty much global Hollows now if you are careful about what you do. If I was on the Scholar variant, I might have been able to do a bit better. Obviously, he's clipped me a bit out of Scholar, but you would get all the Frosty. On the strength version, it takes a bit longer to ramp into the big damage. So there he's blocking, but without stab, so I knock him down. He goes into S when I'm not even, ready to burst or anything. We wait for his S to end and him to dodge afterwards. So there you saw he S'd, walked for a second, then dodged. If I was just autopiloting, I could have tried to burst him there, and I would have hit maybe 1 or 2 ticks of the plasma beam, but not much else. So instead, we wait for him to leave. He dodges. Now we use it. Oh, yeah, actually, okay, here was even nicer. I saw he dodged, and then he went for the Corona Burst, which I dodged around. I guess this guy blocks. We actually denied him stability there. But yeah, he was in Photon Forge, and I was concerned about CCs. And you see how he moved into me here as well. If I did take the burst there, there's a very high chance it would have cancel cast with, him, crossing through the beam kind of thing. Or, the line for the beam would have been like this. But, so just delaying and being very safe like this was really nice. You notice my firebrands give me quickness, which is kind of hilarious. So I just play it carefully, then he dodges, then we burst him afterwards. It's not really about DPS on a build like this. It's about identifying the kill window. That's what I try and describe to you guys when it comes to, you're bursting a Scourge, and there's really no point attacking them through the barrier and stuff, right? You just wait around these things. Here I'm holding autos and stealth to secure that kill. Got a really nice, comfortable 2-cap here. Our team is going to lose control on the game in a second. Here there's a Mirage who... I didn't actually have any tip-off. Okay, so I'm going to rewind here just for a second. So let's watch him come in, okay? So we're watching. I already had my line here. I don't know whether I'd been tipped off already. But he just de-stealthed, okay? And I just burst. You see, I haven't seen a dodge or anything. We go for the Gale as well, right? So any Mirage should dodge there, to be honest. But he doesn't do anything, and we kind of get the dream. Now, you'll notice I had 18 might at the start there. I think... Now, getting a full global like that, I don't think that's because he's Zerk or something. I'm pretty sure that was, a tier 2 build, as in it's got some defensive stats on it. And, sorry, amulet, not build. You know what I'm saying. There's a little bit of resistance to one-shots and stuff. The reason we got kind of the dream there, I think, was because of the strength version, which is nice, you know, and I'm going to keep watching that over the coming games and see whether I do prefer this overall. But, yeah, so very nice, and he didn't dodge. That wasn't really me being good, is all of this is to say. That's just that he didn't dodge. Any self-respecting Mirage probably would. Anyway, so then we come back to this guy. Was that a res from a second ago? Okay, and we get pulled by the Reaper. So, pretty dangerous. And you see how I die here? It's kind of cool, actually. We saw the perks of the might stacking variant a second ago in terms of the pressure. Now we see the loss of cleansing here. If I had cleansing, we would have lost the burning, and we wouldn't have died there. But the opposing Firebrand is not playing convincingly to me, I would say. He didn't come over this body very aggressively. I don't know whether it was a cooldown thing for him or what. Here, once again, we still have burn, which we could have cleansed with the cleansing sigil. There might be a nice middle ground where you don't have to run courage and battle, and we can put cleansing back on. We'll see. Anyway, he could have done a lot more to finish me off there, and he kind of didn't. The Reaper's the target there because I just saw him. He left Shroud, I think. Firebrand is still pushing me. Now, this, in theory, I could kill, and I'm going to go for the kill there. But he gets his F1 proc on me, which makes me very scared. So I flee. But again, I wish I could... Well, we should be playing this in slow motion to an extent. So look, I'm going for the kill. He F1s me. Now I'm terrified, and I think I'm going to die. We're, you know, in his scepter symbol and stuff. So now I'm trying to flee. So scared. And now the game's changed again because I just saw I had an ally. So even though I've got basically no health, yes, I'm in the middle of a hill. I have an ally. We turn around as early as possible to make sure that that kill goes in. We don't have to go through the door, right? That's a lot of good fresh air play. Honestly, if you have any respect for me on fresh air, that's the main advice I'd say to take intermediate players further. It's knowing those perfect moments that you're no longer kiting anymore and you can do the damage, right? Like, you need to always be on the ball with that, and that sort of unlocks most of your potential. Not most of your potential, but a lot of it. I find when I play way too many queues in a row and I start basically being bad at the game, that's what one of the first things that goes. I stop identifying my opportunities. You know. Anyway, so here we're in mid, and it's pretty scary because my ally's down, so I'm like the only guy that's here. And I decide I'm not actually going to be able to get that stomp. As you see, the rally went through there. If I went too greedy, that wouldn't have been very good. So instead, I just go for a decap. This is a bit messy. I should have gone air there for super speed. And so once again, we get the Firebrand. So this is my moment where I get to... I'm obviously going to get the decap because he's not on Judge's intervention because he would have used it in one of those other two scenarios we were with him before. So this is fine. I'm not going to try and random dodge a JI or something. So this entire time, I know I got the decap, and what I'm thinking is this a favorable matchup? Can I win this? And you know, I'm not actually confident whether I can or not. Maybe if I cared a little bit less about the queue, I'd go for it. And so there I go for a knockdown, and you know, if I can get a lot of free pressure en route, I would have gone for that. But because he stabbed the knockdown with one mantra proc, I just decided to leave it. The decap's enough for me. I can come back to the team fight here. You know, you got to just always remember your role on this is not particularly a 1v1 build. So unless you're very confident you'll win it, there's no point trying, you know, as far as a 1v1 is concerned. We get a nice rally here. The reason that rally's nice is it's because it was a stomp on the Mirage we just killed as we re-entered mid. Another reason why not taking that 1v1 was good. We could swing something. But it was a Mirage. He could have used his downstate too. But we got the stomp anyway. I don't know whether someone applied reveal or whatever, but I'd call that nice. The holo has overheated. By the way, some holos are running deliberate overheat. Have I mentioned that on a game of the day? And it can hit really hard. I got hit for like 20k on a deliberate overheat a while ago. Not on fresh air, it was on something else. I think it was a medium armor class I was playing at the time. So it was kind of nuts. So here's my clunky rotation. I really thought he'd need a plus. He didn't. He's just won it. And I wasn't sure what was going on. I mean, Mirage. So I walked really far towards him there, which was pretty stupid. But so, yeah, we ignore that guy. Here, you know, I could have pressured this Reaper. I really could have. But he's already outnumbered, and I'm pretty much positive he's going to die. This is another thing. If I go onto autopilot, I probably would find myself trying to kill that. But I don't. It doesn't matter to me right now. So instead, I'm just watching their respawns. Here, we've got the Dragon's Tooth, and he's immobed, but he's probably not going to get hit by it. And with this, I'm curious if he's going to escape. Here, we see that he does. So we're looking for Reflects instead now. Unfortunately, the Reflects have come after the Photon Blitz. He was trying to use that on me from stealth. So that was a weird scenario. Most hollows, when they stealth and go into Photon Forge, they probably don't open with a blitz. They try and use that free invisibility as that free period when they're not being pressured. It's not free invisibility, obviously it's a cooldown as a resource, but they'll use that space to close the gap with a hollow leap, because you know it's their autos and stuff that do a lot of damage, and they want to make sure their Corona Burst procs land and stuff. Then they'll use the Photon Blitz as a gap, as you know, a finisher when I create a gap, right? That's usually what happens. And here we see instead he uses the Blitz straight away. I don't know why he does that straight away. Maybe he's new to Hollow, or maybe it's my Immobilize, you know, changed his thinking. All of that is to say that my Reflect was too late to get massive value, basically. We go for the knockdown, but it doesn't work because he had Stab. I turn around just to confirm that. And here you see he swings back, and I'm immediately on the aggressive again. And he gets a nice dodge roll on a Plasma Beam. That Plasma Beam would not have killed him, but it would have been a little bit of extra pressure. Me spending Lightning Flash for that was probably a silly idea. In fact, definitely silly, considering it put me closer to the spawn, and I would have been screwed if someone else was coming out there. Anyway, once again, you know, I'm thinking, okay, should I kill the Hollow? But he's already got enough pressure on him. Much more important is defending mid here. We've got a snowball on the map right now, right? So we can afford these pluses. So I take a Phoenix, and I'm scared of the Mirage. You know, you can take a lot of damage. So I run away and let my friend hold the node for a second. Then there's the Reaper, and did we just get hit with the Hollow at the same time? It's pretty bad. Here we use the Water Fire mix to give ourselves a free evade. It doesn't actually help much. I guess we get a little bit of barrier. Got to run away from the Reaper here. Here I opt for the double Water Trident, which is probably bad. Nearly always it's better to go for super speed there. Nonetheless, we cleanse the Immob from the Firebrand. And so here, earlier I said that the Firebrand hadn't been playing very convincingly. I'm not sure about any of his movement here, really. And again, he comes back towards me. There's no win condition. Maybe he thinks there is. But I'm happy to have him eliminated. He's kind of best in the big fights where he can use, you know, the AoE aspects of his F1 and his mantras. So if he's just kind of here on the roads like this, I don't think it's too bad. But yeah, he pushes me into the gate. So here it was really weird. I have 2 people on respawn, and that's another reason why I need to be near the door, right? Because we're -2 for the team, so the chance of me getting aggressed by someone else is quite high. Anyway, so I have 2 people on respawn. I know that. So when I was just standing AFK at that door, I was thinking, right, one of them will come through the door with me, and if the Firebrand's still being stupid and standing around, we'll kill him. But both of my friends, if you see here, we actually had 3 on respawn. They're just coming too close together. So I'm a bit angry about this. I'm a bit thinking this is totally useless, what are we doing? But I kind of, to an extent, me bumming in there with a Thief ally or even alone is not a good idea in mid. I'm actually amazed that my Thief got decap there. I really am. So I just sort of zerg a bit with the team, frankly. Not too good on my side for fighting that Hollow there. There was a little bit of clunk. But nonetheless, the Reflects are still doing their work. Here I'm trying to get on the ledge so that the Plasma Beam works, but it doesn't quite. I know I'm really pressured right now, so I'm going to just blink up the side where possible, and I'm going to try and turn it around and kill him from up here. I fall off there. Was I pulled off? Oh, I think I was. Was that? No, I wasn't Axe pulled off. Axe is terrible on the Z-axis. I'm not sure. Anyway, once again, look, this guy could be rezzing his team. And it's interesting because I get why players act like this. Like, this Firebrand now is going to try and rotate to stop me decapping here. My Mesmer is doing a bit of a clunky thing, but it's I kind of understand it. He's now going to mid. But so he's walking all the way over here. The thing with this Firebrand is I kind of sympathize with him a bit because when you're against Fresh Air, the way to beat Fresh Air is to eliminate it via hyper-aggression, right? Quite often. And maybe he's annoyed that he's the only one on my team. Their cleansing would have been nice again, by the way. Maybe because of his Torch 4. Maybe that's kind of what's going on here, and that's why he's being so aggressive. Anyway, there's a lot of enemies swarming around right now, so I'm just pulling nice and defensive. Again, happy just to take the decap. Dying is really not a thing that we want to do here. So we just take a couple of evades. And now we're looking back towards mid. The Reaper's going to try and pull me, so I stay slightly out of range. We comet him as well. Obviously, that's not got a line of sight check. We get a nice preemptive Phoenix on him. Now, there is no lightning flash here, so it's pretty bad. We hit him with the tick of the overload on the fire as well here, by the way. So we actually get him really low. And this is actually a brilliant example of what I was talking about earlier, knowing when you can turn back around and secure the kill. That was probably the moment. Now, normally, I think a Reaper would have done a lot better there. Like, their build would have enabled more stuff. And so when this happened, I was like, wow, he's really low. That's strange. And then this is when I noticed he has Signet of Locust on him. And his build's non-standard, and I probably could have killed him there. Anyway, so we blink up to hold him in combat, and we use our Earth 2 to just keep pressuring. So let's just re-establish what happened here. I did all that damage to that Reaper here. Disengaged and got the reset, pushed back in, held him in combat and killed him. So in a weird way, I've kind of 1v1'd him there, sort of. Now, he's got the Mirage near him, but Fiery Greatsword has come back. So I'm going to gamble for the 2v1. And what we're doing right now is trying to hit both targets, obviously. We've got the 5 over this, and the Mirage is really low now. So he's going to be forced to get out of that field. I mean, he probably could have just dodged and kept rezzing. But so what was really important that we saw there was that the Mirage stopped rezzing, right? That's the crucial part, because it means that we can ignore the Reaper to an extent. I mean, their autos are very hard hitting, right? So now we're just kiting full on. You notice I've actually come really far away. I've line of sighted myself. I can't cleave this body. The Mirage potentially could res that now, but the Firestorm's still going over it. There was the last tick of the Firestorm there. So we use this time to re-sustain. And now we can use our invulnerability and stuff to cleave again and interrupt as soon as the res starts again. And so we actually get a 2v1 in mid here. Once again, I'm very low though, and we just got Spinal Shiver procced by the Reaper, and I don't want to go down. I haven't. Now, on post commentary, it's quite trivial for us to look at what's going on with our respawns and stuff, but this is taking a lot of my attention. I don't know what the rest of the state of the map is, and I might be about to get jumped by something, so I just go very conservative. They're 2 bodies. It's fine. I don't care about them getting the full cap. So we give ourselves the extra dodge roll here, finish that guy off with the Fiery Frost, I think it's called. How rarely do you hear me say the name of that skill? And my Thief can come in and help finish off the Reaper there. So yeah, that's quite nice. And I think winning that 2v1 there is instrumental in reversing this 3 cap the enemy team just scored against us. So we get the Newt here, and we've obviously got close. That's where my allies just came from, so they managed to secure that. This is the very squishy Mirage again, so we can kill him for free. A lot of people in the community, by the way, say that they're getting free kills. Oh, kill that for free, kill that for free. And it really frustrates me, because usually it's just coming from, like that's a joke. Quite often, they're not free kills. It's just like one of these stupid, arrogant jokes PvPers make all the time. Oh, that was free, lol, free. There, actually, that was free for me. It was basically just an auto attack. I mean, I guess I spent some resources. But anyway, so yeah, we're trying to cleave that. They obviously get the res. It's now very scary because they've come ham at me, which they should. There's Hollow's pressuring. Hollow somewhat makes a mistake because he lands that auto attack. Listen, a lot of why Hollow's so strong is because it can go pew, 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 baby. Right? They just have to auto. In some respects, okay? And anyway, this is one of those moments where the autos can come thick and fast and could have killed me. I do get swells up, but he's not to know that I can get swells up. So he disengages there, you see. I actually think that's a mistake from that Hollow, just in general, because, yes, I had swells that saved it, but he didn't know that, and there was a good chance I didn't have swells, and he could have killed me with one more auto attack. Anyway, now it's really important that I don't let them get this node, so I'm actually coming really close to the Reaper here, because we don't want, you know, we don't want him getting full cap. So he's aggressing me, and this looks annoying, but it's actually not. I'm happy, because it means he's not taking the cap. The second he turns around to go for the cap again, we'll move back towards him. You'll also notice I got a really good wombo combo on him. This is not Scholar, and we did a lot of damage at the opening there. It's because now that I know he's on a non-standard build, I kind of went for the dream where we Phoenix him. Here, once again, so this guy's capping the node, but we burst him, force him into stealth, and while he's in stealth, I get on the node to take some free decap opportunity. There, I do get a bit of free decap, but it was only because he was in Distort as well. He had actually revealed himself. But anyway, I get a couple of points down, and I know all we need now is Waterfall to win the game, and just not dying is what's important. I mean, I guess I can take the extra pressure, but this is all just, you know, to deny the node where possible. And there, you see, we get a little bit more decap again, and we actually killed him in the middle there as well. So, yeah, that's the game. I thought it was pretty good. If you look stat-wise, I would say this was a carry. We didn't die. We didn't, like, make the ultimate fuck-up, so that's good. 12 kills, which was the top on the team. But also, our damage, we're a burst build, really. 500k, but it's 40% of all of our output came from me. 40%. That's high. Usually I only get that on team, you know, to an extent this is a team fighter, don't get me wrong, to an extent, but you know, things with more AoE capacity, let's put it that way. So 40% is kind of mental. So yeah, it was a fun game, definitely, and went right up towards the end. Hope you guys enjoyed watching it. We'll see you for more Game of the Day sometime soon.